Number 7 on this list was sold at one store, and only one store. You could not buy it anywhere else. The store guaranteed it for life. Then the store went bankrupt, and the guarantee went with it. And 40 million Americans discovered that a guarantee is only as good as the company that makes it. Number 4 on this list is still in production. The company that makes it has not changed the design in 52 years. They have added colors. They have added cup holders. They have not touched the mechanism, because the mechanism was correct in 1972 and remains correct today. And number 1 is still in the garage of 1 in 3 American homes, not as a display piece, as the thing that gets used when nothing else will do the job. 7 things, 1 garage. 1972. Subscribe now, because we're just getting started on the America worth remembering.
Steel body, steel latch. The lid that sealed with a sound, not a click, but a sustained hiss as the gasket compressed against the rim and held the cold in. The Coleman Model 216, produced in Wichita, Kansas. Coleman was founded in 1900 by William Coleman in Kingfisher, Oklahoma. The steel camp cooler was introduced in 1954 and became standard equipment in American garages, campsites, and station wagons through the 1970s. The steel body was not just durable, it was repairable. A bent latch could be bent back. A worn gasket could be replaced. The cooler could outlast the camping trips of an entire childhood. Coleman still makes coolers. The current flagship models are made of roto-molded plastic and are engineered for ice retention performance. They are better coolers, technically, than the steel one. They are also products, not heirlooms. The steel Coleman in your parents' garage does not have a serial number you need to register. It has dents from the trips you remember. Single stage, the Toro CCR. Red body, black auger housing. It started on the 3rd pull. The 3rd pull was the ritual. 1st pull, prime. 2nd pull, choke. 3rd pull, engine. Every man who owned one knew the sequence. Every man who owned one had passed the sequence on. Toro was founded in Minneapolis in 1914. The CCR snowblower, introduced in 1965, was engineered for the specific conditions of a Midwestern winter: wet, heavy snow that had partially refrozen overnight. The machine was built in Windom, Minnesota. Toro still makes snowblowers in Minnesota. They are one of the few outdoor power equipment companies that have not moved primary manufacturing overseas. The CCR design has been updated but not replaced. If your father's Toro is still in the garage, Toro still makes parts for it. They have not abandoned their machines the way the machines were not made to abandon you. A folding wooden work surface on steel legs. The Black & Decker Workmate, designed by Ron Hickman in 1961, introduced to the American market in 1972. It held any piece of wood in any position at any angle. It weighed 28 pounds. It folded to the thickness of a suitcase. It was the most useful object in every garage it entered. Black & Decker introduced the Workmate in the United States in 1972 after initial European release. Within 3 years, it was the best-selling portable workbench in American hardware history. The design received 142 patents, not because Black & Decker was aggressive about patents, because the design was so specifically correct that 142 separate features were genuinely novel. The Workmate is still in production. It is made in Mexico. The original American tooling was moved overseas in the 1990s. The design is unchanged. The origin is not.
If you have the original American-made version, the one with the heavier steel frame and the solid beechwood vice jaws, it is a better tool than the one you can buy today. Before we go any further, I want to ask you something. Something from this list is in your garage right now. I'm almost certain of it. Tell me in the comments what you've still got. One thing, how old it is, and whether it still works. I want to know how much of this survived. I read every single one.
3 legs, dome lid, one-touch ash sweeper, the Weber original kettle, designed by George Stephen in 1952. He was an employee of Weber Brothers Metalworks in Chicago. He was dissatisfied with the flat, open grill that was standard in American backyards. He welded a dome to the bottom half of a buoy. He took it home. He cooked on it. The food was better. Weber still makes the original kettle. The factory moved from Chicago to Huntley, Illinois. The design has not fundamentally changed in 72 years. The one-touch ash sweeper was added in 1985. Everything else is the same geometry, the same dome, the same principle. A controlled cooking environment where heat circulates around the food rather than blasting up from below.
If you have a Weber kettle from 1972 in the garage, Weber still sells replacement grates, ash catchers, handles, and wheels. The company has a policy of keeping parts available for every model ever made. You cannot say that about any refrigerator, washer, or television built in the same year. George Stephen understood that a product should be supported for as long as someone owns it. His company still acts that way. White body, red handle and lid. The Igloo legend, first produced in 1947 in Houston, Texas. You know this jug. You have seen it your entire life. On job sites, at Little League games, at county fairs. The red top means cold. The water is cold. It has been this way for 77 years. Igloo Products Corporation is still headquartered in Katy, Texas. The Legend Jug is still in production. The design has not been changed since 1972, when the current body proportions were set. They have added colors to the catalog. They have not changed the insulation geometry, the spigot mechanism, or the handle design. Because it was right in 1972, and it remains right today.
The jug your father put on the back of the truck on Saturday mornings in 1972 is the same object you can buy today. Same dimensions, same weight, same red lid. This is rarer than it sounds. Most consumer products from 1972 have been updated. Updated means cheaper materials with a new color option. The Igloo Legend was not updated. It was correct.
Pistol grip, black body, orange trigger. The Black & Decker Model 7002. The standard American household drill, from its introduction in 1961 through the 1970s. Variable speed, reversible. It weighed 3.5 pounds. It drilled through anything you were likely to encounter in an American suburban home. Black & Decker was founded in Baltimore in 1910 by S. Duncan Black and Alonzo Decker. The pistol grip electric drill was invented by Black & Decker in 1914. Not adapted, invented. Every pistol grip power drill made since uses the fundamental geometry that Black & Decker worked out in Baltimore in 1914. Black & Decker is now part of Stanley Black & Decker, headquartered in New Britain, Connecticut. The consumer brand has moved manufacturing to Mexico and China. The original Baltimore factory is gone. But the drill from 1972 is still in American garages. When people are asked what tools they inherited from their fathers and still use, the Black & Decker drill appears more often than any other power tool. It has not been superseded, it has been replaced. There is a difference. Not plastic, metal. A galvanized steel bucket with a wire bail and a wooden handle grip. It held paint, it held concrete, it held water, it held whatever needed holding. It did not crack in cold weather. It did not warp in the sun. It did not smell like petrochemical byproducts. It lasted 40 years. The 5-gallon galvanized steel pail was manufactured by dozens of American companies through the 1970s. Most of them are gone. The plastic 5-gallon bucket, introduced widely in the 1980s, replaced them on cost. A plastic bucket costs 60 cents to make. A steel bucket costs $4. Both hold 5 gallons. Only one of them is still in the garage 50 years later. If you find one in a garage or an estate sale, buy it. Not as a collectible, as a bucket.
It will be the best bucket you have ever owned, and you will never need to buy another one. What's still in your garage from before 1975? One thing. How old is it? Whether it still works. I want to know what made it. I read every single one. Subscribe, because there is a lot more of this country left to remember. One more is right here. The rest are in the playlist below. See you in the next one.